Hey guys, welcome back to Aussie Beekeeping. So it's the 30th of September today. It's about 15 degrees Celsius, so about 42 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to get up to about 29 degrees Celsius, which is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be a warm one. I'm going to get into these guys, check them out and see what's happening. We know we've lost a couple of hives. It has not been a good start to spring. It is my own fault. I've been that busy between working away from home and getting away on a holiday with my family. I haven't had enough time. I haven't created enough time to get into these bees. So I'm here today to have a look. It looks like most of them have got action. This one here looks a little bit slow. We'll see what happens there. But let's get into them and check them out. First one we're going to get into is this hive we call the Hornsby hive. Now I put a lot of fondant on these guys 3 weeks ago. So looks like they're chewing through that, which is a good sign. Got a hell of a lot of ants. They built a nest up in the top of this. Let's have a quick look. Nothing happening there. A few bees on top. Small hive beetle. Another one. Not a lot happening, is there? Little patch of brood. So we're 30 days into spring. So it's pretty obvious there's not a lot happening. There's a lot of chewed caps here. I'd say that's a reoccurrence of that. I'd say that's a reoccurrence of chalk brood. So although that fondant is keeping them alive, it's certainly not, they're certainly not pushing forward. I can't see any eggs. I'll have another look in this frame here. There is a little bit of larvae in through here. Here's our queen. Going to grab them some more fondant. So there's some fondant for them. I'll close them up. Okay, so here we have the white hive, the original white hive. These guys will be monstrous. There is an enormous amount of ants on the back of this hive. And looks like a bazillion ants have called it their home as well. This is the problem with feeding fondant. And look at that, all that fondant is gone. So it looks like these guys are just under constant attack from those ants. Nothing on that frame there. Nothing on that frame there. The bees look agitated, they're jumping around a lot. Got some brood there. However, there's not a skerrick of pollen or honey in these outside frames. More brood. The problem that I have is that these bees are too far away from home, and I recognise that that's the issue. We have larvae down in this little patch here and some eggs through here. So I'll pop that frame back. These guys are going to have to get some supplement as well. There's our queen. That's the original. She's been so difficult to find throughout her whole lifespan, and I'm talking at least 2 years, maybe 3 years. And here we are, once we've marked her, we just look at her. She's just there. Easy to find. The brood looks pretty good. A little bit sunken in some of these patches here. I'm just doing a quick American foul brood test, which is where you puncture any one of these cells which look a little bit damaged. So we choose this one. You puncture it, you stir it with a stick, and you pull the stick out, and if it's stringy, which it's not, but look how interested they are in that cell. They're all diving around, whether it's because there's a little bit of moisture in there or nutrients, I don't know. So I'll pop that one in there. So those ants have pretty much, looks like, removed that fondant from these bees. So they've got a couple of frames of brood. I'll pop that other frame back in. I'll give them a little bit of fondant as well. I don't have a lot of fondant on me this week. But I'll pop that in there. Hopefully those ants have nicked off. A lot of eggs, isn't there? I think most of the problem is this extra sheet I've got under here. I've created a space for the ants to nest. So I'm going to take that off. So here we have the blue hive. Still a big bump in the centre there from that fondant. I can feel that. I can see it. Plenty of bees though. Ooh. I'll take that back. So they haven't eaten an enormous amount of that, have they? Let's hope for some brood in here. I don't think it's going to look good. The logistics of bringing sugar water down and feeding it to these guys is absolutely beyond me. Shit. There's some nectar in there. They haven't uncapped that. I don't know where that's come from. A little bit of brood. There's our queen. A little bit more brood there. And zilch. So no real stores. I really thought there would have been something. I thought there would have been at least some clover coming on by now. Well, I'm going to put their fondant back on them. It's still pliable. It's very disappointing though. So here we have the purple hive. Sounds like plenty of bees up in the top there. We've got some ants up here as well. I don't understand bees. We've got two hives that are 3 metres away, 2 metres away from each other. These are crappy genetics, splits from splits. The other one is pure genetics. The purple hive is going strong. The pink hive has died. They are literally metres away from each other. That's what I don't understand. I'll take their fondant off. They've been eating that. Zilch happening on that frame. Zilch on the next one, but some bees. Looks like they're uncapping the last of those stores. Third frame in. More bees, but that's about it. So maybe it's just our bee numbers that are up in this box, let alone not health. So they've got nectar up in here. And they've got pollen as well, pollen through here and nectar. Next frame. Look at that brood. There's nothing wrong with that hive. Could do with a little bit extra food. They've obviously latched onto some source of nectar from somewhere. And again, look at that brood. A practice cup there. I'm sure they're far from swarming. Another little practice cup. It's really warm today, so that wax is really, really pliable. Even more brood. Oh no. Even more brood on that side, sorry. No drone comb. And this second last frame here still got bees on it. It's got a little bit of weight in it. And that's got nectar in it. So when I think about feeding, I think about, do I feed a weak colony or a genetic line that doesn't work well down here so that they can fail further down the track? And do I keep these bush bees, we'll call them, to just continue, and although they're a bit angry, they find resources? So that's what makes me question feeding. So here we are, this is the red hive. These guys are pretty tightly packed down. Zilch on that outside frame. And it looks like nothing happening on the second frame. Maybe a few more bees in the frame, maybe a few more bees in the hive before. Ow. So fourth frame in, we've got some nice brood. There's our poorly marked queen. So fifth frame in, more brood. So it looks like it's only a small nest. Vented bottom on this hive. Lots and lots of bees there. Look how black that bee is. That's an old bee. Oh, there's more brood here. So she's jumped. So we've got, what, 5 frames of brood. There's another frame of brood. They're doing quite well. So this is the sort of hive I consider. I might even put a box on these guys. And only because I'm not going to be down here for 2 more weeks. No. They've got plenty of room. They've got 4 or 5 frames. They've got not a lot of food. Pack them up. I didn't notice any food in them, so I'm going to give them some fondant. Here we are, this is the yellow hive or the clear hive. Holy magooly, ants have moved in. Look at that. This hive is absolutely chock-a-block with ants. So what am I going to do here? Pull these frames, have a look what's going on. So the ants are everywhere. The bees have still got some nectar. That's strange. I think it's time to retire the clear hive. There's some fundamental mechanical issue with the bees being able to get rid of the ants. So I'm going to quickly pull this aside and fix it. So I've got myself a base and another box, and I'm just simply going to transfer these guys over. Look at this. This is an Australian spider. It's called a huntsman. Look at that. They're non-venomous. Well, at least they don't bite humans. You can pick them up with your bare hands. Get rid of him. So let's make this nice and simple. We'll do the inspection as we go. Lots of ants on that frame. This next frame here. Good brood. More brood there too. So the bees look healthy, but I'm assuming that their stores have just been ravaged, and this fondant on top probably hasn't helped them a lot. I've started to sweat through one of my gloves, and the bees have decided that that's where they want to sting me. More brood. I'm looking for the queen as I go. These guys have got nectar up here and pollen, and there's eggs and larvae through the guts there. So their health is pretty good. Okay, continue. There's our queen. Pop her straight in. And this frame here, it's got a little bit of nectar in it, which is nice. Pop that one back in. This will give these guys plenty of room. They're good genetics. These are Italians. They've been sort of jammed in this box. That one's gross, but we'll throw that there anyway. Get rid of that box. Now this has got a vented base. We're in summer, so I'm going to take that out. Sorry, we're in spring, I should say. This will give you an idea of how bad that hive was. Good thing I did that. I'm not going to put any fondant on those guys because they've got some nectar and there's good numbers. So I'm just going to close them up. So here we are. This is the black hive. A little bit of traffic at the front door. A couple of bees in the top. Unreal. Sounds like they're just about to get flighty on me. So they're working their way through that fondant. Got honey on the outside, probably from last season, so I'm not going to get too excited about that. More honey. And a pretty substantial queen cup. Oh, that's just fondant. That isn't an egg. They're just mucking around with that. More honey through here. So they've got a little bit of store. That's good. Oh, heavy. Little practice cup. What's he doing tending to that? Her. What's she doing? Nothing. So this has got good brood, hasn't it? Black hive. Another heavy frame. Keep an eye out for the queen. There are eggs and larvae all the way around here. I'm also scanning along here for any swarm cells. Being that there stronger than the other hives here. More brood. We've got just a dead cup in the bottom there. So here we have the silver hive. There's absolutely no traffic at the front door there. Hopefully there are some bees. There you go, plenty of bees, some bees I should say. Let's get straight into these guys. Second frame in, not a lot happening. Just going to remove this for a sec. Third frame. Some bees, no food. Fourth frame, more bees, no food. Next frame, gee, these guys are small, aren't they? Wow. Ugly brood, no food. It's chalk brood. Chalk brood rattled along. What? Chalk brood dotted around that brood frame. More brood here. Really dry sort of hive, not a lot of fluid in it. All the cells look dry. There are wet cells through the centre here with some eggs. These guys need food, so I'll give them some fondant. Some more fondant. Okay, so this is the orange hive. Ants, mate. Far out. Look at that. How do they be bees if they've got so many ants? All that fondant is gone, probably the ants. Shit. Zilch. Nothing on the next frame, just some bees. These are the Italians as well. Third frame in. Whoops, fourth frame in, not looking good. That's probably our cluster there. Let's have a look. Not a lot happening there either. It's the sixth frame in. So we've got some brood. That's good. They're slow though, aren't they? Still small. So I'm thinking I should give them some more fondant, but I'm concerned about the ants. More brood, but that's real old, isn't it? Dark brood. I have to give these guys some fondant, but if I don't give them something, so they've got some frames. There's our queen. She's working her way there. So nothing really happening on that outside frame either. So I'm going to give them some fondant. I probably am going to regret it, but I have to help them. Hopefully they can protect that. Okay, so here we are. This is the green hive. One of the two original hives. Obviously the queen is not the original, but the genetics are. These guys have obviously been very, very weak. They've eaten out the top of this. Let's see what happens here. They've eaten out the bottom as well. So, weight-wise, they're very, very light. Nothing. Little cluster of bees up here. Another tiny little cluster. That might be their only cluster. Looks like nothing. So they're eating their sugar cake. They're tiny. So this is the white hive too. Always grumpy, always productive. Let's get straight in. So plenty of weight on this frame. Pure honey. Get thrown in. Very heavy. And I recall from last time I inspected, this frame was heavy as well. Third frame in. Little queen cup there, that's scary. Bums in the air, so there's our nectar line all the way through there. Probably a little bit on the other side. A little bit of honey. Good brood. These aren't bush bees. This is a swarm. Actually, it was a cutout from about 4 years ago, which was given to me. Actually, I purchased it, which I bought, and then I had to rescue. So their brood's going quite well. Plenty of larvae through here. Another frame. There's our big fat queen. So this is her first year. She's doing quite well, isn't she? So there you have it, guys. Some wins, some losses. I've got some boxes stockpiled over here, no entrances, so the bees can't get to them. These guys are going great guns as usual. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.